Okay, we're now live. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Even if you'll be watching this later, thank you so much for choosing to watch the content that we have worked to put online for our community. For today, we are going to have an interesting session by Victoria Wikler, who will be taking us through meditation for stress reduction in tech. So without taking any more time, Victoria, you can go ahead. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to add that on the comment section for this live video, and we will be able to go through them at the end of this session.
Okay, guys, I'm really happy to be here. My name is Victoria B Wikler. I'm a meditation teacher, a shamanistic practitioner, and a spiritual crisis facilitator. So today I'm talking about meditation for stress reduction, and specifically in tech, which is an industry that I have some experience in, as I've had experience in virtual reality simulation. So I know that working with big teams, and in some ways tech is metaphysical. So it takes a lot of creative power and a lot of teamwork, and that can be an environment for great stress and compulsive imagination. So it's really, really important to have a practice which allows you to focus in and relax. And by relax, I mean settle down, focus, come back to the present, so that the ideas that you generate, as well as leadership skills, can become concise and clear and optimize your leadership experience, your creative experience, and your problem-solving experience. Part of my work is taking spirituality away from the untouchable kind of woo factor of this wellness industry, and make it really accessible and real and useful. So before I really get into it, I'm going to add my Venmo account so that you can donate to me. I work for donations completely, whether it's doing work like this, having one-on-one consultations, or what have you. This helps me access anybody. I live in Haiti, in a place where jobs are scarce. So it's important to me that some people can work for free, and donations help me allow people to work for free. So I'm going to add my Venmo handle here in my private chat, and hopefully the host can add this into the group chat. And then if you do not have Venmo, you can send me a PayPal payment through my email address, which I will also send here. Okay. All right, so hopefully that gets to you. I've just sent it in my private chat. Okay, so for now, before I get into information and more about stress and talking and mindfulness and all of these things, let's come into the room and do a quick mindfulness meditation so that we all can come in at the same pace, into the same room, and feel that collective energy of everybody learning all at once, okay? And ironically, it's a very busy day in Haiti, and I live right on the street, so there might be very loud noises, and in which case, that's the name of the game. Loud noises come in and then they leave, and nothing ruins anything. So we're just all going to have to breathe through that together. So wherever you are, I want you to sit in a comfortable position. I would stray away from laying down when you're doing mindfulness meditation and stress reduction, because you don't want to relax to falling asleep. You don't want to go away. You want to be aware, but you want to be relaxed. So I would sit up in a position that's relaxing for you, that's comfortable for you. For me, I have my legs crossed and my hands on my knees, and I'm leaning back on a chair. And so that's comfortable for me. So wherever you are, I want you to sit in that comfortable position. And if you'd like to, you can close your eyes. And as of right now, just be consciously aware of the sounds going on around you. If you have any bodily awareness, so do you have an itch? Is there something on your body that is sore? And then can you become 5 to 10% more comfortable? Maybe that means lowering your shoulders and sitting back. Maybe that means releasing tensions in your jaw or your eyebrows or even your nose. Go ahead and take a big swallow in the back of your throat and make space. These are things we don't think about when we're stressed. And then to finish off this short centering meditation practice, I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And on your exhale, I want you to make a little bit of noise. So that can be very quiet, like a hum. It can be relieving, like a kind of sound. If you can't do that, then take out a strong breath that you can hear, like Darth Vader. Okay, so everybody together, take an inhale, really, really, really strong, and fill your lungs up to capacity, and hold it. And then exhale strong, make noise, or have loud breaths all the way. Hold it. And then back in really strong again. All the way up to capacity, and then hold it. And then all the way out again, making noise, and then hold it. And then the last one, you can make it the strongest one, and you can plant yourself into the room with everybody else. Inhale. Hold it. And then exhale all the way strong. Relax. Take a moment of quiet. And be consciously aware that your attention is now coming into the room with a lot of people that you maybe can't see, but maybe you can feel them. Become consciously aware then as well that you're about to learn some meditation skills for stress reduction, and that you'll leave with at least a little bit more tools, maybe 1 or 2 tools that can benefit your life at the very least. Okay, now you can slowly open your eyes and gaze back at the computer. Okay, welcome back to the room. So I'll talk to you a little bit about meditation and mindfulness. Mindfulness meditation is my form of teaching meditation. It's what I learned when I went to a Buddhist high school. It's what I've continued to practice now growing up and being in different stressful industries, especially as a self-employed woman living in a third world country. Things can be extremely stressful interpersonally, socially, professionally, and in this case, environmentally. So mindfulness meditation is a way to, um, well, meditation, I should say, is a way for us to be mindful without mixing it up with other activities. And when I say mindful, I mean aware, consciously aware. Seeing things realistically and as they are, rather than a fantasy. And stress is the culmination of fantasy. So, because we're always doing other activities, especially as professionals, maybe you're doing multiple activities at the same time. We're on our devices, we're networking, we're speaking to multiple people at the same time just on WhatsApp alone. We don't ever have to be with ourselves. And in the end, being with yourself is what got you to this place in the beginning, wherever you may be in your profession. So it is yourself that you have to take care of and rely on and stay calm, especially if other people are depending on you. So this work is integral. It, to me, isn't a choice. In fact, I think that the possession of stress is why companies and teams fail to remember that you're individuals that need to take care of themselves and each other in order to allow an idea to come to full fruition and greatness in your chosen industry. So that sense of both having all the time in the world and that sense of urgency of what we need to do right now. Mindfulness meditation helps you find that they can actually coexist and come together, right? But not without some practice. That doesn't happen overnight. I have a client who, let's call her Sasha, because I won't reveal her name, but I met with her the other day and I said, what would you like out of this meditation experience? What are your smart spiritual goals, your achievable, realistic goals? And she said, I want to go out of my body and transcend into a space of oneness. To which I asked her, well, great, that's great. Can you be alone with yourself to do that? Because first you need to sit by yourself alone if you want to achieve anything grandiose like that. I said, what do you do when you're alone? She said, I look at my phone, sometimes I talk to my boyfriend, sometimes I just binge watch Netflix. And I said, great. So how do you think you're going to transcend through binge watching Netflix? So it doesn't matter what your big goal is. You have to start from a place of clarity. Otherwise, it's not, excuse me, it's not a smart goal and you won't get there. And that's just the truth. And any big goal that you aspire to has to come through practice and commitment and faith in that commitment. And we can only solve problems moment to moment. And that's what mindfulness meditation teaches us is to bloom where you are, not where you're going in the future, because this is not real. Right here is real. So the hardest part of explaining this work is that it's so simple. It's so simple. And we don't want to believe that it's real. We don't want to believe that if we take just 90 seconds to breathe a day, that will be helpful. Because in a way, it's like an insult. It's like, I'm working so hard. I'm so stressed out. You mean to tell me that breathing is going to help me? But the answer is yes. The answer is yes, because there's nothing more real than the breath. Stress is the obsessive compulsion towards fantasy and the future. So it's not necessarily real. It's not happening right now. And the breath is real. It's keeping you alive in this moment. So in the few seconds it takes to take a couple of deep breaths, it reminds you that I'm sitting at a kitchen table. The air is hot. There is a pain in my shoulder. I have racing thoughts. And I'm breathing. And that's the most realistic thing that you can observe. And if you can observe moment to moment like that, beyond your kitchen table, beyond your couch or your cushion where you choose to meditate, bringing it now into the office or a meeting, staying right here, is extremely beneficial. It helps you listen more clearly. There is something like 10 minutes into listening to somebody speak, you have now forgotten 50% of what they've said after you've walked away from them. And I think that is just insane. We are hearing all the time. We can't not hear. Sometimes we hear things that we don't want to hear. Sometimes we try to hear more. But listening is a skill. Listening is absorbing what you hear. And if the average person forgets 50% of what they've just heard, then that means we're living in a time where we're not mindful, we're not listening. And the best ideas come from active listening, getting out of your own way, getting out of your mind. And the only way to do that is through mindfulness. And so mindfulness meditation is a constant practice with yourself in order to do that, so that when you're out in the real world, you can live mindfully, walk mindfully, listen mindfully, create ideas mindfully, strategize mindfully. So it takes practice. So the next challenging thing about mindfulness, accepting mindfulness as a concept, is loosening our grip on our identification with struggle and stress. This is why mindfulness meditation, for me, can be quite radical. It challenges the belief that our personal value is dependent on our productivity, which is simply not true, because you're a lot more than what you produce, what you put out. You're also what you receive. You're also a sensual being. So mindfulness teaches us that each moment is valuable. And no matter what you do, it's valuable. So then once you identify that, in every moment you are valuable, even when you're not producing and even when you're not working. So it's hard for us not to have ownership over that, not to have ownership over our stress. I can't tell you how many people that I've met who love to say, oh, I wish I could meditate, but I just can't. I'm too busy. Are you too busy to spend 1 minute of your time breathing? Please. That's the illusion of a lifetime. Or when people say, I just can't meditate. What do you mean? Maybe you can't be a bodhisattva, maybe you aren't a Buddhist, maybe you aren't a monk, but what you can do is put your phone down for 5 minutes and breathe. So what is that illusion that tells us that we can't relax? We can't not be stressed. So for me, mindfulness meditation is really a radical rule-breaking practice, especially for entrepreneurs and people who are carrying the ideas that will carry us and next generations into the future. And so I need notes, otherwise I won't be mindful of what I'm saying, because I like to go on impassioned rants about things. Yes, so mindfulness helps with stress by helping us challenge our addiction to stress. And stress is not by any means the optimal way to live. In fact, it has not only psychological but physiological effects on your body. And that's a talk for another time, but it really is the source of a lot of disease and your hormones that control that receptivity to sickness. So each moment that we are mindful, like at the gym, we build the strength to endure moments that we might not have any choice but enduring. So we strengthen ourselves to accept the unexpected in the future. So meditation for me is a conscious decision to sharpen my mindfulness skills daily. It helps me step out of the frame and look in. So nothing is actually a surprise to me. That's an overarching statement, but that's the goal. So we become aware that we're operating through this lens of expectation and comparing what it is we should be doing, what we're not doing, and etc. And the awareness of that itself, that contradiction in itself, is the act of mindfulness meditation. It's brought on by mindfulness meditation. It just seems to clean off that lens, so we may get a more precise look into what's really going on, and then rationally kind of sweep it away and get to the point. So that cleansing of the lens, that practice in precision, helps us see and enjoy what is here instead of longing for what isn't. So with all of that said, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight what mindfulness and meditation can do for stress reduction and where stress actually comes from. What is stress? I'll help you get into briefly what a mindfulness meditation practice can look like. So when I work with a client or a group, so I see one-on-one clients over video chat weekly, And I also work with groups here in Haiti and see one-on-one clients there. I help them meditate, I help them reduce stress, I help them create a spiritual practice that works for them, regardless of their the organized religion that they're a part of, or belief system, or lack thereof. And I help people uncover what's important for them in terms of their SMART goals and support those goals with whatever their spiritual practice looks like, and we kind of work together to create that spiritual practice. So when I work with a client of mine, we create two practices. The first practice is a daily practice. It's a daily sitting practice, whether that means meditating or prayer, or taking a walk. It's something that you do every single day, the same exact way, every single day for the same amount of time. And doing these two practices, the next one I'll tell you about in a second, help to dissolve the illusion of not enough time, which is where stress, that's the root of a lot of stress. So in having a daily practice, every day is a new day, and it starts the same. So an example of this can be, well, I'll use myself as an example. Every single morning, I wake up, I make my bed, I have coffee with my partner, and then both of us will light a candle, go into a separate meditation room, and we'll meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. If it were just me, I'd meditate for longer, but 5 to 10 minutes is what he can do. So as any partnership, we need to collaborate. So we meditate for 5 to 10 minutes together, silent meditation. We have two different meditation styles, and that's okay. The point is that we do this every day. And then after meditation is over, we unpack what that meditation was like together. We talk about it. He goes to work, and I will write. Same thing every single day. And even before our partnership, that's been my routine every single day for the past 10 years. And it's that small habit that makes a huge difference in your life. And there's a lot of flexibility there. It doesn't have to be so disciplined, because the act of doing it is already disciplined. Sometimes I sit meditation and I do it in a more formal way, in some of the ways that I was taught growing up in a Buddhist community. So that can be using a mantra, that can be chanting and whatever. So sometimes I use those skills, but most of the time I just sit silently. You know, I've just woken up. I had dreams. I'm coming into my day. I have things to do. So there's an interesting, I'll say poetically, birth canal from sleep to awake that I find important to process, to come from yesterday and into today. So every single day I meditate, regardless of how I do it. I sit down quietly for a certain amount of time, and I do it every day. It's not that deep. And then the second thing that I develop with a client is, I call it a rescue remedy. Because all of us need moments where we need rescuing. It does not matter who you are. The Dalai Lama needs rescuing sometimes. That's just the nature of being alive. We sense pain as well as pleasure and success and triumph. In fact, a lot of that triumph and pleasure and success comes from a place of surviving pain and overcoming. That always just makes it a little bit more exciting for us and more rewarding. So we use a rescue remedy, which is tools to pacify high levels of stress in a moment. There are quite a few people I've met and worked with in tech who they work, and then all of a sudden they're at capacity and they freeze. Survival mechanisms come in. They want to fight, so they want to throw it all away. They want to flight. They want to escape and not do this anymore, or give the job off to somebody else. They get afraid and they want to run away, or they freeze. And that usually provokes somebody to say, you know what, I need a week. I need just a week to breathe. I need a week to just not think about this for a little bit. But when people have that week or that mental health time, they find that it's actually more stressful because they're sitting alone with themselves. So this is when a rescue remedy practice would come in and be very helpful. Actual physical tools that you can use. So it's more precise than just sitting meditation every day. These tools can include centering exercises. They're similar tools that I would use for somebody who is having an anxiety attack, or somebody who, in my spiritual crisis program, somebody who just had a big experience and they don't know what to do next. Somebody who's just gone through loss, these big events in life that trigger that survival mechanism to fight, flight, or freeze. So the rescue remedies are the ones that I like to go to for stress. We'll do together right now. And then you can leave with these tools, at least rescue remedies. Then after that, maybe I can take some questions if that comes up. I only have a private chat here with the host, so if that's the case, if you do have any questions, you can start writing them now, and perhaps she can write some of those questions in our private chat for me. Because I think I'll be with you for another 15 to 20 minutes. So, I'm practicing these rescue remedies. Let me take you through a meditation, and then after the meditation, I'll go back and identify the tools that we've used. Okay, so I'm going to ask you again to find a comfortable spot. To find a comfortable spot where you're sitting and lean back, put your hands down, and let's pretend that you are having a moment of very high stress. I want you to start closing your eyes if you feel comfortable with doing so. I'm going to keep mine open because I want to make sure I hit all of the points to help you leave with some tools. So find that comfy spot. Take a couple of clearing breaths on your own terms. Soften your belly as you take those breaths. It can be emotive breaths. So, hopefully nobody's watching you, and that would be ideal, but otherwise, who cares? You're being healthy right now. So take some clearing, emotive breaths. Drop your shoulders, soften your belly, slouch, move, figure out what's comfortable, release your tension. And then when you're ready, you can just sit comfortably and in stillness. And see if you can become 5 to 10% more comfortable. All right, so let's imagine that you are really at capacity. If you can't creatively come up with this, try to remember a time when you were really really stressed out. You were faced with more than you could handle. You weren't sleeping, maybe you weren't feeling good, maybe you couldn't stop sleeping. I don't know how it would come up for you. But try to remember a time where stress just felt like your whole world. And go to that moment of just feeling like, is this it? Is this going to be forever? And try to feel that into your body. Go ahead and do a scan. Imagine that there is like a CAT scan going over your body, like a line. And try to see where the tension hits that scan. Is it in your chest, your shoulders? Is it in your solar plexus, so right under your breastbone? A lot of people carry anxiety and stress here in your chest, in your solar plexus. Is it behind your shoulders, or your sit bone, or your pelvis? And what does it feel like? Can you describe it to yourself? Does it feel like it's tight? Sometimes I describe my stress as feeling like the hinges are loose and I have no stability. So go ahead and put your hand on those places. For me, I'll put one hand on my heart and one hand on my stomach. Those are the places that feel the most insecure. And go ahead and let everybody know if you've never felt insecurity in your life, because then maybe you're more equipped for this talk than I am. So find the places where you find the most insecure physical feelings and put your hands there. And I want you to do something that's a little bit creative. With your hands on your body, I want you to bring your awareness to your hand and your fingers. Can you feel the inside of your hand? Can you feel the inside of your fingers? What does that feel like? Does it feel like a vibration? Do you feel your pulse? Could you say that you feel energy? And what about the place where you're putting your hands? Can you feel the inside of your chest or your stomach? Can you feel your blood pumping? Can you feel your heart beating? And can you feel your lungs expanding? What about your body swaying? Can you feel that? And while your hands are there, all of that feeling, that energy, that movement, even in stillness, your body is moving. Even in stress, your body is conspiring to support you. So, can you take that awareness, that energy that you feel in your hands, and in your body. And can you use that to soothe the tension in the rest of your body? Try to take that energy in your hands and your body and expand it ever so slightly. You don't need to force anything, but can you take that awareness and spread it like a circle to your shoulders, your arms, your pelvis, your upper thigh, your other arm, your throat? Can you get it that big? Can you widen that circle of awareness? Try to feel your heart and your elbow at the same time. Try to feel your stomach and your thighs at the same time. Try to feel your throat and your spine at the same time. And how does that feel? Is everything vibrating? Can you feel the blood pumping through all of it? Can you feel your body swaying ever so slightly? And what about your breath? Can you feel your breath in your elbow? Can you feel your breath in your legs? What about your nose or your eyebrows? Can you feel your breath there? And try to expand that circle, that conscious awareness of your body, just your body, bigger and bigger. Bringing focus then to your knees and your ears, to your shins and your ankles, and all the way up to your eyeballs. Try to feel your breath in all those places. Try to feel your blood pumping in all those places at once. And then try to expand the circle all the way to the bottom of your feet and to the top of your head. Can you feel it there? And then in this circle of awareness, where you're feeling your whole body, the movement of your whole body, even in stillness, I want to take a few seconds to breathe. We're going to do a breathing technique, and I'll walk you through it. You just keep bringing that awareness as a circle around your body. But in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to breathe in for a count of 4, hold it for a count of 7, and breathe out for a count of 8. And we're going to do this for just 1 minute. Just 1 minute of your time. So together we'll breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. If your hands were on your body, now you can rest them on your side. And now just breathe at your own pace and sit quietly for just a moment. So you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Release yourself from your position, stretch if you need to, and you can slowly open your eyes. So what we just did is a combination of rescue remedies that I'll use for somebody undergoing and sometimes an extreme amount of stress, if not just a small amount of stress that's provoking you to take a break or reach out for help, or sometimes just shutting you down. So this is a rescue remedy. Sometimes I'll use just one of these, which is sometimes all that somebody can take in or handle, and sometimes, like we just experienced together, I'll do a combination of multiple. So the first one that we did was a tension release. We took breaths that were emotive. We did an inhale and we exhaled, releasing our bodies. So all that was just an inhale and a release. You can emote, you can make sounds. Sometimes I'll ask people to move their bodies or shake their bodies in an erratic way, which is uncomfortable most of the time, and that's a tension release. The second thing that we did together was a body scan. So we brought our conscious awareness and our mindfulness to our bodies, where we were just present with our bodies, really, really focused on our sensations and our creative awareness to imagine what's going on inside of you. That is so focused that it's hard to imagine what's going on outside of you. It's almost challenging to then think about what's going on next at work because you're so focused on your body and your sensations and feelings, even at rest. So we did a body scan then. And then after that, we did 90 seconds. I said 60 seconds, but I tricked you. It was 90 seconds of a breathing method that is 4-7-8. So after the body scan and after our tension release, directed breathing. So you have no choice but to breathe for these counts. So you're very focused in counting and in breathing. So it's an inhale of 4, holding it for 7, exhale for 8. So you breathe in really deeply, and then you hold it. And then you release it even slower than you inhaled or held it. So it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of steadiness to do that. All your focus is there. And then the last thing, if you're really, really in a moment of stress and you don't have very much time, just take 90 seconds. Sometimes that seems like a big deal to take 60 or 90 seconds, and it can really feel like the longest 90 seconds of your life, especially if you're at work or you're in the middle of a deadline. Sometimes it feels like 60 or 90 seconds is all you have. So set a timer for 60 seconds or 90 seconds and be quiet and breathe. And that's the least that you can do. When I was bartending, this is a funny story. When I was bartending, if I got overwhelmed, and I also felt like other employees were watching me and waiting for me, I would sneakily make a martini. Because when you're stirring a martini, you generally stir it for 45 seconds, which is equivalent, should be equivalent, depending on how fast you're counting, to 60 seconds. So I would kind of hide my 60 seconds of mindfulness and just pretend that somebody ordered a martini and I would make a martini. So these are things that you can do. At the very least, you can take 60 to 90 seconds. If you have the ability to do it, you can add more rescue remedies. And then daily, if you can incorporate one practice every single day at the same time. These are recipes for building mindfulness in your life that can absolutely reduce stress in the right now, but also the long term. And reducing stress will optimize your work ethic and ability to lead a team. Dissolving the illusion of not having enough time will help you pacify stress. And then if you really, really, really feel like you need some help, hire somebody. Hire somebody to help you do that, because we can't do it alone. We can't do anything alone. So I am available to just plug myself in. I'm available to see one-on-one clients for meditation consulting, one-on-one or in a group or with a team. Spiritual practice. So if there's a spiritual practice that you'd like to strengthen, I also do spiritual advising. And then spiritual emergence, which is if you're having a challenging spiritual time, I'm there to counsel through that. But in this case, if you need help meditating and with your mindfulness practice, send me an email, which I linked in the very beginning, and the host can go back into the private chat and pin it. But for now, my email is Victoria B Wikler. My name is on the title of this webinar. It's Victoria, Victoria, B as in boy, Wikler, Wikler @gmail.com. And you can contact me there if you'd like to work with me. And then further, I'll remind you that I do work for donations exclusively. So even if you do work with me one-on-one, we do it by donation and sliding scale, because I work with a variety of incomes and social status and what have you. Anytime somebody donates to me, it pays for somebody else's session. I live in Haiti, where most people can't afford a meditation guru or coach. So anytime somebody donates to me, you pay for somebody else who maybe can't pay for one-on-one counseling. So I can't stress that enough. If you'd like to work with me, you can email me at victoriabwickler@gmail.com. You can also PayPal me there. And if you'd like to donate, you can Venmo or email me. And then, of course, if there are questions, I'll have the host write them in the chat. But as for now, thank you so, so much for having me. And your decision to incorporate mindfulness and stress reduction practices in your life, and perhaps in your company's life or in your work life, I congratulate you. It's one of the wisest decisions I think anybody can make, especially as a professional. And I really honor you for that. And I thank you for your attention and your time today. And thank you, African Women in Tech, for hosting me. I am extremely grateful to work with you and to be an ally to your organization. Thank you so much. And so I'm staying here now for possible questions and silence. And then I'll remind you, of course, if you have a question that you think of later, you can send me an email again at Victoria B Wikler at gmail.com, and I will be happy to answer your questions for free. If you want to find me on socials, it's still just my name. So on Instagram, it's Victoria B Wikler. I do not have a LinkedIn, and I'm in the process of deleting more social media accounts, but you can find me on Instagram just under my name. And there are some really fun tips and videos on there as well that I post constantly. So that's just to say, you can find me.
Thank you so much. Personally, I really learned a lot from today's session, and yeah, I think I'll also be working to include one of the things that you've shared us at least a day, as you've shared with us. Each of us cannot lack a minute, 60 seconds, 90 seconds to ourselves just to stay and leave everything else and breathe, and have time for ourselves, so as to build our mindfulness, and which in turn helps us to do all the other things that we do on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing with us. I hope this helps as many people as possible. I also hope for anyone who's interested in learning more, they get to contact you via email or on social media. Yes, yeah, going forward. So we did not get any questions, but I think it's because everything was so clear, and everything was really well explained. Yeah, so yeah, I'll just reiterate that we're so grateful and so thankful for sharing with us today. I'll go ahead and wish you a good evening, I think, or morning.
Yeah,
I'm not
good
sure.
day. It's
Yes.
11 a.m. for me.
Okay, okay. Yeah. I'll go ahead and wish you a very good day and fruitful day and mindful day.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Guys. Mwah. Bye.